Hi everyone, this is Shannon from theirishscrapper.com, and today I wanted to bring a card to you guys using the Everything is Rosy product medley. That was an exclusive medley for the month of May. This is 2019, so it is still available for purchase until the end of the month or while supplies last. I am doing a special promotion for this medley. If you purchase it from me, you will get an exclusive online class, so I can put a link to the details of that in the description of this video. But today we're going to show you how to create this fun card that kind of has this, I call it kind of a pocket look to it. And it is raised, so there is some dimension here between the sentiment and our pocket piece. So it's just a fun little different look to the front of your card, and I'm going to show you today how I did that. So the products that we are using is the, whoops, where's my stamp set? Oh, here it is. Everything is Rosy stamp set. There are some lovely sentiments and images in here. We are using the Stitch Shapes framelits, the layering circles framelits that go with that. We are using the Everything is Rosy Designer Series paper. So I can show you that once again. I know I showed this to you previously. So here's one of the patterns. Here's another pattern. There are rose gold accents on this. It is double-sided. There's the pattern we're going to use on today's card. And then here's the melon mambo. And then here is, I got some scraps in here. Here is the other side of those patterns. So very pretty paper. I love foil in my paper. So those rose gold accents really spoke to me. Alright, so for today's card, we're going to use a different piece of Designer Series paper. So it will look a little bit different. Our base is going to be a piece of thick Whisper White. This is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. I have a 4x4 piece of the DSP. I have a 4 1/8 piece of Night and Navy that is 4 1/8 by 5 1/4. And then I have a scrap piece of Night of Navy and a scrap piece of Whisper White. That is to do our sentiment here with our big shot. And then I have another piece of Night of Navy that is cut 4 1/8 by 11. We're not going to use this whole piece, but I will show you how we cut that down. Alright, so why don't we start with making our pocket look. So I'm going to flip this over because of the pattern to make it a little bit easier for you to see. So I'm going to line that up. I'm going to take my ruler. I am going to mark the 2-inch at the bottom. And then on the sides, I want to mark 3 inches from the top. Okay, so that's leaving us, you know, like an inch up from the bottom, if that makes sense. So let me mark that. Okay, now I'm going to bring in our paper trimmer, and we are going to line those two marks up in our track. So I have my mark here and my other mark here. I'm going to go ahead and cut that piece off. So it's just a little tiny piece. Now I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to find my mark on this side. Depending on your patterned paper, it could be a little harder to spot. That's why I wanted to turn it over, because the pattern here was a little simpler. And then that creates that little pocket look. Isn't that fun? Alright, so now let's adhere this to our Night of Navy. And this was inspired by a card, I believe I saw it on Pinterest. I think her name was the Pampered Stamper, if I'm not mistaken. So I thank her for sharing this little simple technique. She, of course, used a different Designer Series paper, a whole different look than what I'm doing today. And so now I'm going to bring back my trimmer, and I want to get this little border all the way around. So if I line up my Designer Series paper with the left side of that trimmer, like where your blade runs through, I'm just going to cut directly there. And you can see it gives me the perfect little space. So I'm lining the designer series paper up with that and then cutting, and then I get a perfect little edge. I really like this. Okay. Oh, sorry, I dropped one of my stamps went flying. Okay, so I'm going to put a bunch of dimensionals now on this. And we also need to think about our ribbon. So we can use the night, I think I will use the Night of Navy since I used the Melon Mambo on my first one. I'm going to use this. This is so pretty because it's got that rose gold accent. I'm going to grab a couple little bits of Scotch tape. And I want to bring it down. It's probably a little more than an inch. Let me lay my tape there. See? Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, and then now I'm going to really load this up with dimensional. So I will fast forward this for everyone. Now that we have all of our dimensionals off, we're going to adhere this to the piece of Night of Navy. It's 4 1/8 as well. So this will be flush to the top. Okay, give that a nice press. Now because of our base, if you remember the dimensions of the regular size card, it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. We are going to cut our Night of Navy to 5 1/4. So I'm just going to trim this down. Could have done that in advance. Let me do it this way. So let's do 5 1/4, and then you can see here, you know, how that will layer on to our white. Now you can do a little bit of stamping. As you know, on my first one, I did some balmy blue, and of course I did that. This was a big stamp, so I did it before I adhered my pocket. So let me grab my Night of Navy ink, and I'm just going to use the same big flower, so it's going to be the same color, so it's not going to stick out, you know. Usually my ink pad is pretty juicy. Let me get myself a little scrap piece of paper there. Alright, and then I might even put in a few of this little cluster of smaller flowers too, just to kind of fill in. Like that. Alright, now it is time to grab our Big Shot. So let me put that aside. I need to have my handle this way. We are going to take our Whisper White and our stitched circle, and then I'm going to take my layering circle on my scrap of Night of Navy, and we're going to cut both of those. Alright, and then we will be done with our Big Shot. Set that aside. Let's pop that out. Okay, and I just love this sentiment in the Everything is Rosy. It's the birthday sentiment, so I'm going to grab my Night of Navy ink again. May your birthday be filled with pretty things. We're going to ink that up. We're going to stamp that. And then we're going to take that little cluster of flowers that we used with the Night of Navy, and we're going to grab our Melon Mambo. Might need my scrap paper again, let's see. And then we're going to fill in some of these Melon Mambo flowers, just to add a little bit more, interest to the label. How pretty. Okay, let's close that up. Let's get our adhesive. And let's put that over our blue. I know it's a very little border there. Could have probably went up one size of the scalloped. Let's now take our base, add our adhesive. Make sure this doesn't pop up. We're going to add that to our Whisper White. Ooh. Uh-oh. I was trying to move that. It's going to have to stay. Okay. Alright, let's grab some dimensionals again for our sentiment. Wow, this one is so pretty too. I think this one actually might even be my favorite so far. Alright, let's grab that and let's put that right here over our label. And there we are. We are done. So there is 2 options for the Everything is Rosy product medley. Again, that is still available through the end of the month or while supplies last. If you do purchase it in my online store using the special host code, you will get an exclusive online class from me with projects and a printable color PDF with step-by-step instructions as well. So I do hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. I'd love to know which one is your favorite, the Melon Mambo or the Night of Navy. And I look forward to being back with you real soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.